And it came off a little bit of hustle here from Josh Minot, who did finish with 6 total rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive side, including this offensive rebound right here. Pulling it down with one hand, going back up. Here's your forward top play of the game, courtesy of Josh Minot. And again, it was, I think, 53-41 at that point, and then Houston just went on a run to kind of close out the rest of the second quarter. And part of the reason that they were doing that was the three-point shooting. We went through the numbers in that first half, but the three-point shooting overall, just 19 of 29, Eddie. It's one thing for guys to just knock down open shots. It's another thing for them to knock them down at a clip of 65%. 19 threes on 29 attempts is that is something crazy.
That is. But at the same time, when we were looking at that B-roll earlier, you see how many of those shots were wide open. So those are the shots that you take before the game. Those are warm-up shots. It's not like somebody made you move. It's not like they put a lot of pressure on you. They were getting wide open shots, wide open looks, and they were knocking them down. Like right here, there's not a black jersey in the vicinity of that. That's a late contest right there. And I always say a late contest is a no contest. That's a late contest. So, I mean, when those things happen and you get right there, that's another late contest. You don't see that as a shooter, especially Kevin Durant, by the way. But you don't see those things as a shooter. You're able to raise up and shoot, and they're late coming with the contest. It looks good on film, but not really if you know what you're looking at. So we just gave up a lot of open shots.
How many of those were Thompson getting into the painted area and then kicking, spraying the ball around? You got to be better at the first line of attack and not let guys crack you on the edge. And then, you're all of a sudden you're in help and leaving someone open on the perimeter. So give credit to the Rockets for knocking down at the clip they did. Again, I go back to it before the trash time of this game. It was 10 of 12 in the corner. Like literally every look they got from the corner. When you're shooting 83%, you're going to win the game, and you're going to win pretty handedly. And so they were great in generating good looks, making those shots, and making you pay for leaving bodies on the corner.
Meanwhile, Celtics just 14 of 44 from 3 themselves tonight. So again, 128-101, the final score on this one. Time now to hear from Peyton Pritchard and the experience from the locker room, which is presented by Experience Abu Dhabi. Discover more about the incredible city at visitabudabi.ae. Here is Peyton Pritchard.
Game in 5 nights. Could you guys feel that?
I mean, maybe we made fatigue decisions out there on the court and stuff like that. We came ready to play, but we got popped tonight, so move on, get ready for the next one.
Yeah, what are the takeaways?
I don't even know if there is a takeaway of this game. You just kind of turned the page. They just punked us, and we got to get ready for the next one.
Joe just said that. He said it's just he chalks up as one of those nights. What's kind of the criteria when that's your takeaway from a game like this, as opposed to like, oh, we were bad tonight, if there's things we need to fix? Like, what's the balance there?
Sometimes, even when we had a championship level team, like you got popped on some nights like this, and you just turn the page, you get ready for the next game. I mean, it's 82 games. It's a lot of traveling, a lot of back-to-backs at times, so it can be tiring. And I think they came off 2 nights of rest, so they showed it tonight and killed us.
Baylor had his probably best game of the season so far. What have you just seen out of him so far this year, and just as a teammate, like what have you been kind of telling him concerning his
Just to attack each day, keep getting better and better. And I thought tonight he was great. And when he got asked to play, he came in with great energy, hit a shot. I think he found his stroke, and that was great to see.
Is there something in particular that you think a dynamic that he can give you guys when kind of in his minutes?
Well, I just think he, as a player, he is able to space the floor and shoot it, but also he can be another ball handler, decision maker, passer, somebody that can maybe start the offense. So for him to keep expanding in all those areas, be very versatile, would be huge.
And when a night like this happens, and you shot 65% from 3, how quickly can you kind of tell that, okay, they're just going to be red hot? So,
part of that is we just kind of gave them open looks. They were sitting wide open. So when you do that and they're hitting, things are just bound to just keep flowing. And then they were getting fouls all game too. So they were just getting to the free throw line or open 3. So it just was a bad combination.
As that starts to avalanche and spiral, what's going through your mind? How are you trying to adjust what you're trying to do?
Trying to play as hard as possible. Just maybe trying to give a spark somehow. See a couple baskets go in, get a couple stops, see if you can turn the momentum.
Any other questions?
Perfect.
All right, so concludes the 5 games in 7 nights for the Celtics. They will be back at it on Monday, though. So just one day off before they get back at it against the Utah Jazz. We're going to take a quick break. More Celtics Postgame Live coming your way next.
Welcome into Celtic Postgame Plus. Look, it wasn't what the Celtics wanted to see after riding a 3-game win streak. Houston now rides a 3-game win streak as well. 128-101, the final. Chris Forsberg, Caleb Burton here with you. I will say this, Chris.
Where you at, Kayla?
Some games, I know, right? What do I got to bring to the table? Some games, and I think Peyton Pritchard attested to this when we listened to him, and Abby was talking to him. Sometimes it just be like that. You ever have that expression? Just be like that. And I'm not here to justify, hey, the Celtics have no reason to not show up. Like Peyton said, it's not that we didn't show up. Some teams are just better. And I think that's what the Houston Rockets are. Like we saw it, physicality. We talked about it all pregame live, saying this is a big 6-7 plus 5-starter physical team. And the block shots, 11 to 2 block shots here tonight. And so sometimes it's just really difficult. I think we're going to get into Kevin Durant, just the impact that he has with Houston. But I'm not sitting here saying, oh my gosh, Celtics season is completely over. I just think that Houston was the better team, and it definitely showed here tonight.
Yeah, and like, look, if you told me going in after 0-2 start, you got 5 games in 7 days, Celtics were going to go 3-2, kind of start feeling better about themselves, might trip up at the start and the finish line, like I'd probably take it, you know? Like we knew regardless of how this season was playing out, the Rocket game was going to be tough. They're loaded with talent. It's going to be a challenge when you're playing them with 2 days rest, let alone on 5 and 7. And so I would have liked to have seen them be a little bit more competitive, to use the vibes from winning in Philly, from the Cleveland win, and go out there and show again like that they're on a level that can compete with championship caliber teams. But just like you said, we're not going to make wholesale declarations about this team based on this game tonight.
Largest lead for the Rockets here tonight, 36. Celtics, 0, which I also think is different because usually the Celtics, whether it's an up and down, even on the losses that they had within those 3 early losses in the season, they still had the lead for the majority of those games. So I think that this is a humbling game. It's a humbling experience for the Celtics. But they went up against some pretty darn good guys. Starting
humbling when Kevin Durant's on the other side.
Yeah, let's talk about him because, I mean, he exploded for 26 points right out the gate. He made an impact. And not only 26 points, he's plus 21 here tonight.
Look, this is what Kevin Durant does. He is, the size is a nuisance because he shoots over the top of you. No matter how, going in, I was thinking, who are they going to even put on him that can really deter him? You know, shout out Josh Minot, who's been thrown on a whole bunch of tough guys. Jalen took some turns. You know, there's no good answer for Kevin Durant, especially when Jason Tatum is not healthy enough to be out there. And so, you know, when he gets going, 8 of 11 is obviously super efficient. It's just such a luxury that everybody else on the team is knocking down threes. And then even when you have a little bit of a lull, there's Kevin Durant to just kind of steer you. You can throw double teams at him. You can rush out defenders to cover him. There's no good answer when Kevin Durant's on the floor.
That's the thing. I mean, I'm looking at this box score, but even just watching the game live, they wouldn't miss. And it wasn't even just from the 3. It was inside the paint. I mean, from the 3, 19 of 29, 42 of 77 overall. That is 54%. From 3-point range, 65%. I can understand, Chris, in the first half, you know, teams get hot, the 3-point ball is going. We even saw it with the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell just lighting it up from behind the 3. And then what happened in the second half? Totally derailed. But here's with Houston, they just continued to put the hammer down. And it was a problem with their physicality inside, the block shots. When Peyton Pritchard, he always tries to get into the paint. And, you know, the struggle to find ways, how are we going to beat this team? Either getting to the foul line, which they didn't. You know, we heard in the press conference, hey, Joe, how did you feel about not going to the free throw line nearly as many times as Houston did? And he gave his answer. But I just think that it's hard to do when this team is so physically strong. Let's talk about the Thompson. 17, 8, and 9 here tonight. This guy was a problem.
So we saw his twin brother up in Detroit. We know how just athletic they are, what a nuisance they can be out there. I'm telling you, like, even before they got Durant, I loved watching Houston, not only because Şengün is so talented and everything he can do and flirting with the triple-double tonight, but I think Thompson is going to be like a superstar in this league. And, again, it's hard because there's so much talent there in Houston, but watch the way he just consistently cracks your defense. And can just get open looks for anybody on this roster. When you surround him with all this talent, it's so impressive to watch. And the putbacks, he just skies over everyone. He's so springy with the way that he can hurt you there. So when you lose a Van Vliet, everyone kind of wondered how this thing would look and how it would run. And, you don't necessarily have a pure ball handler out there. What a luxury that Thompson can take over that role, can move the ball around, can get 8 assists tonight? Plus 27, just a little bit of everything. So he gives you the scoring, the assists, getting others involved, playing defense. He is, if they do go on and achieve their goal, so much of it will hinge on, obviously, Şengün and Durant. But for me, it comes down to him. If he is elite and plays at this sort of level where he's this impactful in a game, they will win a championship.
That's what I'm looking, again, 26. These are the starters, 26, 12, 16, 12, 17. All starters, all double figures, and you just mentioned it. Şengün having a ridiculous night as well, flirting with the triple-double. I mean, he was 1 assist shy of a triple-double. We know that he is this dominant presence of a center. I mean, he has been that way, and him paired with the new look of Kevin Durant here with the Houston Rockets, but having the outside, the supporting cast, Chris, along with Şengün, how problematic is this team? Was this a fluke? I don't think this is a fluke. No. Can they sustain this throughout the rest of the season? I think
if you will watch more Rockets games, it won't matter what the rest of the sequence is. It's just going to be, they're going to be that much better than teams, and their size is going to give them problems for the opposition, and they're just going to bully you. The opening night against OKC, you could see what a war that game was, and they could play that way against a very talented defending champion. Or, there'll be nights where they just kind of grind and find a way. So I like watching. It wasn't fun to watch them tonight against the Celtics, but in general, they're so skilled at every position on the court, and they have enough depth. Just it's all lined up for them except for the Van Vliet injury. Yeah. But man, if Şengün's playing like that, if Amen Thompson's playing like that, good luck rest of the league.
It's hard. You look at this team and you look at what they did in the first half. And again, we mentioned it, but we said, okay, let's go to the second half and see if they're not going to hit as many shots. And then boom, 65% from the 3 is kind of crazy. All right, let's send it back to the TD Garden where Abby Chin is standing by.
Joe, I'm going to start with the obvious. Your 5th game in 7 nights. Rockets had been off since Wednesday. What did you see?
Yeah, great team. Give credit to Houston. They played well. I thought our guys did the best they could, and this wasn't our night tonight.
Rough whistle as well. How do you feel like your guys handled the adversity?
It was fine. I mean, it'll be more important about how we handle shoot-around on Monday. Get back to it. That's the most important thing is, you go through a few of these throughout the season. It's more important about how we respond.
One positive, Baylor Shireman had a breakout game. How nice was that to see?
Yeah, I mean, all those guys, it's important that they continue to get better because they're a vital part of what we do and the way we want to play. And so he's gotten better. Whether it's 1 possession, 2 possessions, or 3 possessions, he's done the things we asked him to do. Tonight he looked more comfortable out there. Just have to continue for him to keep growing.
Joe, thank you. We'll see you Monday.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor Shireman, 17 points, 5 boards, leading the team in scoring here tonight in 22 minutes. As Scout mentioned, it's always good to kind of have that individual confidence that Baylor may have needed. So there are some silver linings despite the 128-101 loss here to the Houston Rockets. We got more coming up on Celtics post-game. Plus, stay with us. For the Dunk and Dunk of the game, it's all about the dunk. We've been seeing a lot of Minot in this, but hey, let's lob it up to Chris Boucher for the nice dunk there.
Look at those.
Good to see.
First off, he's wearing the Tatum kicks, and then he dumps off to Boucher. He's got nice little shoes as well.
Chris needed that too. I needed to see a little Chris Boucher action because after, game against 76ers, he didn't do anything extraordinarily, but good to see Joe kind of figure out some physicality, even though they took the loss here. But let's move on to the next game because it is the Utah Jazz. So this is going to be, Chris, as you just mentioned in the break, a get-back game and something that the Celtics want to, get back in the right direction, saying, okay, we took a beat down here today. Let's move past this and get to Utah. What are you expecting?
And you get a rest advantage because Utah's got to play tomorrow night in Charlotte, so they've got to grind and then get up here. But younger team, I think we know the story with them, right? Lauri Markkanen is super talented. They do have some guys that can give you trouble on the glass. That's going to be probably the key of the game for us is going to be back to rebounding. Walker Kessler, Nurkic is there now as well. There's guys that can give you trouble if you let them offensive rebound. But it comes down to if they can figure out how to contain Markkanen, the Celtics will have a chance in this game, a chance to start feeling better about yourself. It finally feels like this maybe, and no disrespect to the opponents on the schedule coming up, but when you consider Utah on Monday, Washington on Wednesday, a little chance to start feeling good again before you have to go on the road to Orlando with 2 tough games down there. So a chance for the Celtics to maybe really bury this ball and this be focused on the road ahead.
We call it humble pie. It's okay to get humble pie time to time, but they got to right the ship, which they can do so in the next one. As we mentioned, they're back on Monday against the Jazz. Our coverage, it starts at 7 p.m. with Celtics pregame live presented by TD Bank. Then stay with us after the game for highlights and player and coach reaction on Celtics postgame live presented by your New England Ford dealers. Remember, everybody, you can stream all of our coverage on the NBC Sports app and NBCSportsBoston.com. The Celtics live stream is brought to you by your New England Cadillac dealers, the official luxury vehicle of the Boston Celtics. It wasn't prettier tonight, 128 to 101, but you know what? It's a long season.
It is a long season.
Houston, we had a problem.
Yeah, Houston did.
We got a little bit of, but this guy didn't. You see him vibing out on the sidelines?
At least they got that one in Philly.
Look at him. He's fine.
The only problem.
That's a sign to say, hey guys, we're all right. All right. We'll see you guys Monday against Jazz. Let's get back.
Let's get back on track.